Welcome back to the Death Row and Executions channel. I'm Paco Rivera. You can also follow me on Facebook for updates and more Death Row news. There will be a link to my Facebook in the description below. I'm sorry if my voice sounds a little different. I'm recovering from a very bad cold I had the past week. It seems that the state of Oklahoma canceled a whole bunch of executions that were scheduled toward the later part of the year, except for this one. 59-year-old Phillip Dean Hancock is scheduled to be executed in Oklahoma on November the 30th. Hancock and his lawyers and various organizations supporting Hancock have been making a lot of noise in the media lately, more than 20 years after the murders, that Hancock is innocent because the two men that he shot were killed in self-defense. And I can see where if someone doesn't take the time to actually study the case details thoroughly, they might fall for these stories. Hancock is not the first death row inmate saying he had killed in self-defense, and he won't be the last. I have covered several cases in the past couple years where that claim was being made. Jermaine Cannon had said that his girlfriend attacked him with a knife when he stabbed her to death with that knife before fleeing from the scene and going on the run. John Ramirez had said that Pablo Castro attacked him first, forcing him to stab Castro multiple times to death and then removing a total of $1.25 from Castro's pocket before fleeing the scene and going on the run. Phillip Hancock shot two men inside a house. One died in the house. The other man, injured with a gunshot wound, ran out the door into the backyard trying to escape Hancock. He was chased down by Phillip Hancock, who then shot him several more times, killing him before fleeing the scene and going on the run. And he remained on the run for the next 6 months. I've seen a lot of true crime shows where someone who had killed someone else went on the run and was captured weeks, months, and sometimes even years later. And when they were caught, they tried the self-defense at their trial. And I'm not buying it. Logic tells us that if somebody kills somebody else in self-defense, the first thing you do is call police and say, hey, I just killed this guy because he tried to kill me first. You do this right away, immediately. You don't run and hide, and after getting caught, say that it was self-defense. Juries aren't going to buy that. In the year 1982, when Phillip Hancock was 18 years old, he was convicted of manslaughter for shooting to death a drug dealer in a public park. And he served 4 years in prison for that crime. Now, I can tell you that the two victims in the 2001 case, a 37-year-old man named Robert Jett Jr. and a 58-year-old man named James Lynch, the two men that Hancock shot and killed, have been described as motorcycle gang members, drug dealers, and were two individuals with very violent criminal pasts. Aside from close family members or dear loved ones of these two men, it might be safe to say that they are not going to be heavily missed by society anyway. But regardless, that does not give a single individual the right to take it upon himself to execute these two men, regardless of their character or background. Phillip Hancock, at the time, had a girlfriend named Catherine Quick, who was living with Hancock, but she moved out 2 days before the murders. And she ended up sleeping the night at the home of Robert Jett, one of the two victims. According to one witness, Hancock was angry with Jett for providing overnight refuge to his girlfriend. ex-girlfriend, really, because she had left him. On the night of April 27, 2001, Phillip Hancock went to visit Robert Jett, and for a while all appeared to be going well, and they even worked on a Harley-Davidson motorcycle together. There was another man there, a friend of Robert Jett, named James Lynch. During their time there, the three men had also done meth together. And then Hancock looked up on the coffee table in the living room and spotted a pair of sunglasses. And he recognized the sunglasses as belonging to his girlfriend. He told Robert Jett, "Those are Catherine's glasses." Jett fired back at Hancock by saying, "No, they're not. Those are my sunglasses." A short time later, Robert Jett left the room, and while he was gone for a moment, Phillip Hancock saw an unopened pack of cigarettes. He picked it up and opened it, pulled one out, and began smoking. When Jett returned to the room, he was furious with Hancock for opening a brand new pack of cigarettes. And this, apparently, is what culminated in things escalating to the point of two people getting killed. Now, we know much of these details because there was a witness in the house, a woman named Shawn Tarp, who had been invited to the home by Robert Jett. Phillip Hancock has said that the two men, Robert Jett and James Lynch, tried to force him to get into a cage in the house. Now, as strange as that sounds, crime scene photos do show that there is a large cage in the house. And witnesses have said that the cage was used by Jett to control or punish people. I know this sounds really weird. However, the woman that was present at the house the night of the murders, Shawn Tarp, did back up Hancock's story and said that she heard Jett and Lynch telling Hancock to get into the cage. When Shawn Tarp realized that things were getting very heated and out of control between the three men, she said that she retreated quickly into a bedroom and closed the door to get away from it. Phillip Hancock stated that when he refused to get into the cage, the two men attacked him, one with a metal pipe, and that during the struggle, he retrieved a gun that Robert Jett was carrying on his waist. The witness in the bedroom, Shawn Tarp, said she then heard what sounded like gunshots. She then heard Jett yell that he's been shot. She cracked the door open a little and saw Jett running through the house into the kitchen and out the back door trying to get away from Hancock. Jett ran into the backyard and Hancock chased after him. At one point, they were just outside the bedroom window and Shawn Tarp clearly heard Robert Jett say, "I'm going to die." She then heard Hancock say, "Yes, you are." And that was followed by several more gunshots. Self-defense? Shawn Tarp said that she wasn't aware that Hancock had gone back into the house, and when she opened the bedroom door, he was pointing a gun at her. She said she thought he was going to shoot her, but Hancock asked her what she wants to do, and she had told him that she just wants to go home. Shawn Tarp said that he told her, okay, but to give him 2 minutes to leave first and to not look at his license plate number when he drives away. Shawn Tarp would later say that Hancock had no scratches or bruises that she could see on his body or any type of injuries, and he did not walk with a limp, something someone might be doing if he had been in a violent struggle, and that he appeared very calm. Shawn Tarp then left the house and later gave a full report to the police. She was able to give a description of Hancock and his vehicle. She did not know his name. a police sketch of the unknown man was circulated to the media. Crime scene investigators have said that the condition of the house did not indicate a violent struggle had taken place there, as Hancock would later claim. 6 months later, in Logan County, Oklahoma, Phillip Hancock was arrested on a totally unrelated matter, and in his possession, he had a gun, something he was not allowed to have as a convicted felon. And it just so happened to be the same gun that he had used 6 months earlier to kill 2 men, a gun that belonged to Robert Jett. But police hadn't made that connection yet. While sitting in jail, Hancock, possibly realizing that the gun confiscated from him would soon be traced to the murders of Robert Jett and James Lynch, notified authorities that he wants to talk, that he should tell them about an incident that occurred with that gun 6 months earlier in Oklahoma City. Because by this time, Hancock had come up with a story. That story, however, did not match up with evidence at the crime scene and eyewitness testimony, and a jury convicted Hancock and sentenced him to death. Phillip Hancock's lawyers and his supporters are now insisting that DNA be tested on various items from the crime scene, including clothing that the victims were wearing, scrapings from under their fingernails, and even on a wallet. And that DNA will prove that there was a struggle and that Hancock had killed in self-defense. Somehow, DNA is supposed to show that Hancock had killed in self-defense. How will DNA testing prove that? Sounds to me like a far-fetched, desperate attempt to stall the execution. Oklahoma Attorney General Gentner Drummond has stated the following in response to activists calling for DNA testing. No amount of DNA evidence can prove Hancock's indefensible claim of self-defense. Hancock pursued an unarmed and injured Robert Jett Jr. into the backyard of Mr. Jett's home. A witness heard Mr. Jett say, "I'm going to die," and Hancock respond, "Yes, you are," before Hancock shot him again. The evidence is clear that Hancock murdered Mr. Jett and James Lynch. As I said before, Phillip Hancock is set to be executed on November the 30th. At this time, there is one more execution set to take place this year after Hancock. Kenneth Eugene Smith in Alabama, who will be scheduled for execution sometime in December. An exact date is not known at this time. There is already a video on the case of Kenneth Smith on this channel from when he was scheduled for execution in November of last year. So this video you are watching now may be the last one I do this year, unless something changes and another execution is scheduled. So I would like to take this time to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas. I hope you all enjoy the upcoming holidays and that you all have a safe and great New Year. In the meantime, I will continue to post on Facebook regularly any death row news and updates, so be sure to follow me on there. In the coming days, I will be posting a preview of the new intro that will appear at the start of videos for this channel in the year 2024. I'd like to get your thoughts on that when you see it. You can find a link to my Facebook in the description below. Please remember to subscribe for more death row and upcoming execution stories. I'm Paco Rivera. Take care and bye for now.